The salt air was his breath, the crashing waves his lullaby. Tristan, with eyes the colour of the deep ocean, grew up on the edge of the sea. His life, like the tides, was simple, predictable. Each day mirrored the last. He sailed out with the dawn, his father's weathered hands guiding him. They cast their nets, hauling in the bounty of the sea, their only companion the rhythmic cries of gulls.
Then one day, the winds changed. A storm, fierce and unforgiving, swept in from the horizon, tearing at the peace of our coastal haven. Amidst the chaos, a ship, caught in the tempest's fury, was dashed against the jagged rocks near the cove.
The storm raged for what felt like an eternity. Its fury unmatched by anything Tristan had ever witnessed. The sky was a canvas of dark, swirling clouds, and the sea roared with a ferocity that seemed almost alive. When it finally abated, Tristan was among the first to reach the wrecked ship. He moved with a sense of urgency, his eyes scanning the debris for any signs of life. Broken masts and torn sails lay scattered like fallen warriors, remnants of a battle lost to the tempest. The beach was a graveyard of shattered dreams and broken hopes. Amidst the splintered wood and tangled ropes, a figure lay unmoving. Tristan's heart skipped a beat as he approached, fearing the worst. Her dress, once a vibrant blue, was now torn and soaked. Her long dark hair fanned out around her like a halo. She looked like a fallen angel cast down by the storm. She was the most beautiful creature he had ever seen. Even in her disheveled state, there was an ethereal quality to her that took his breath away. He gently lifted her, his heart pounding in his chest. The weight of her in his arms felt both fragile and significant, as if he were holding the very essence of fate. She was alive, but barely. Her breaths were shallow and her skin was cold to the touch. Tristan knew he had to get her to safety quickly. Carrying her back to the village, he could feel the weight of her, not just in his arms, but in his destiny. Each step he took was a promise to protect her, to save her.
Word of the rescued maiden spread through the village like wildfire. People gathered in small groups, whispering and speculating about the mysterious girl and her savior. They brought her to the humble cottage I shared with my parents. The warmth of our home was a stark contrast to the cold, harsh reality outside. My mother, her weathered face etched with concern, helped me lay the girl down on my narrow bed. She moved with the practiced care of someone who had tended to many in need. "Do not be afraid," I reassured her, my voice barely a whisper. "You are safe now." I could see the fear in her eyes slowly give way to a fragile trust, and I knew that our lives were about to change forever.
Days turned into weeks, and weeks into months. Isabella, under the tender care of Tristan and his loving family, slowly but surely regained her strength. Her laughter, like the tinkling of wind chimes, began to fill the small cottage, bringing warmth and joy to every corner. She spoke often of a land far away, a place filled with towering castles and lush, vibrant gardens. Tristan listened, captivated, as she spoke of her life, her dreams, and the world she once knew. He, in turn, shared with her the stories of the sea, tales passed down through generations, the legends whispered by the waves, each one more enchanting than the last.
We spent our days exploring hidden coves, discovering secret places known only to the sea and the stars, sharing stories under the vast expanse of the star-dusted sky, where every star seemed to tell a story of its own. He taught me how to cast a fishing net with precision, how to read the language of the waves, understanding their whispers and roars. I, in turn, taught him the art of conversation, the beauty of poetry, and the magic of words.
Love, unexpected and undeniable, blossomed between them, like a flower in the spring, bringing new life and hope. Their secluded paradise was not destined to last. Word of a princess washed ashore on a distant coast had reached the ears of her family. The king, frantic with worry, had sent out search parties across the land and sea. Their arrival in the village was heralded by a fleet of ships. The villagers watched in stunned silence as soldiers, clad in shining armor, marched through their humble streets.
Fear clutched at my heart as I saw the ship's captain, a man with eyes as cold as steel, approach Isabella.
Princess Isabella, the captain announced. "Your father, the king, has sent us to retrieve you. You are to return with us at once."
The villagers watched, their faces etched with worry, as Isabella, flanked by guards, was escorted onto the ship. The air was thick with tension, and the sound of the waves crashing against the hull seemed to echo the turmoil in their hearts.
My heart felt like a lead weight in my chest as I stood on the shore, my eyes locked on Isabella's. Her gaze was a mixture of fear and hope, a silent cry for reassurance. I could see the despair in her eyes, the silent plea for me to understand. It was as if time stood still, and in that fleeting moment our souls spoke volumes.
As the ship set sail, the image of Isabella, her hand reaching out towards him, seared itself into Tristan's memory. The distance between them grew, but his resolve only strengthened. He knew in that moment that he could not let her go. The bond they shared was too powerful, too profound to be severed by mere miles of ocean.
I had tasted happiness, true love, and I would not let it slip away. The memories of our time together, the laughter, the shared dreams, they all fueled my determination.
That night, under the silent gaze of the stars, Tristan made a decision. The vast expanse of the night sky seemed to mirror the vastness of his love. He would cross oceans, move mountains, defy fate itself to be with Isabella. No obstacle was too great, no challenge too daunting.
The next morning, with a heart full of hope and a mind set on my mission, I went to the village elder. His wisdom was renowned, and I sought his guidance for the journey ahead.
Love like yours, my boy, is a rare and precious gift. Follow your heart, Tristan. His words resonated deeply, giving me the courage I needed. Let it be your guide. With his blessing, I felt a renewed sense of purpose, ready to face whatever lay ahead.
Meanwhile, Isabella had been returned to her world, a world that now felt cold and suffocating.
Gone was the salty breeze, the sound of crashing waves, the warmth of Tristan's hand in mine.
She found herself confined to her chambers, surrounded by ladies-in-waiting who spoke of silks and balls.
My heart ached for Tristan, for his laughter, his touch, the way he looked at me like I was the only star in his sky.
She clung to the hope that Tristan would find a way to her, that their love, so strong and pure, would be their guiding star. Tristan's journey was fraught with challenges. He sailed on merchant ships, his payment for passage hard work and calloused hands. He traversed treacherous mountain passes, the icy wind biting at his face. He slept under the open sky, his dreams filled with Isabella's laughter. He met kind souls along the way, drawn to the quiet determination in his eyes. They offered him food, shelter, a listening ear.
Months turned into a year, each passing day an excruciating test of my will. But I never wavered. I carried with me a small pouch, a reminder of my love and my purpose.
Finally, after what seemed like an eternity, Tristan reached the kingdom. The castle, perched atop a hill overlooking the city, was even more imposing than Isabella had described. He knew that gaining entry would be no easy feat. The guards, clad in shining armor, were a formidable obstacle.
I seek an audience with Princess Isabella.
The guards laughed, their faces a mixture of amusement and scorn.
The princess is promised to another. Be on your way, boy, before we make you leave.
But Tristan stood his ground. He told them his story, his voice carrying the weight of his journey, the depth of his love. The guards, initially skeptical, found themselves moved by Tristan's words. They had witnessed countless suitors, their declarations of love ringing hollow in their ears. But there was something different about Tristan, a sincerity, a depth of feeling that could not be faked. Word of the fisherman who dared to love a princess reached the king. Intrigued, and perhaps sensing a kindred spirit in Tristan's unwavering devotion, he granted him an audience.
I love Isabella deeply. My love for her transcends wealth or status. It is a love that defies the constraints of society.
Tristan stood before the king, his back straight, his head held high. He spoke with a sincerity, a passion that resonated within the king's heart. The king, a ruler accustomed to courtly manners and calculated pronouncements, was taken aback by Tristan's heartfelt plea. He had expected arrogance, a sense of entitlement. Instead, he saw a love so pure, so selfless, that it shook him to his core. He saw in Tristan a reflection of his own love for his daughter. The king, his heart softening, made a decision that would change the course of their lives forever. He summoned Isabella to the throne room.
Tristan?
She entered, her steps hesitant, her heart pounding in her chest. Her eyes, filled with a mixture of hope and trepidation, fell upon Tristan, standing tall and proud before the throne. The moment their eyes met, the world around them ceased to exist.